Corruption Exposed Episode 2 Trump and Epstein. The ties that bind. They say a man is judged by the company he keeps. So what does it say when that company includes one of the most notorious sex traffickers in modern history? Let's rewind the clock and walk through the full timeline of Donald Trump's relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. From their earliest meetings, to shared social circles, to the hush-hush ending the DOJ wants you to stop asking about. Because while most people remember the mugshots and headlines, the truth behind the Trump-Epstein connection is deeper, darker, and far more protected than the public ever realized. Epstein's first break didn't come from finance. It came from education. In the 1970s, despite never earning a college degree, Epstein was hired to teach math and physics at New York's elite Dalton School. The headmaster at the time, Donald Barr, the father of William Barr, who would later become Donald Trump's Attorney General. No one has ever explained why Donald Barr gave Epstein that job. But it gave Epstein access to powerful families, wealthy parents, and the kind of social ladder he'd soon climb with ruthless efficiency. After leaving Dalton, Epstein worked at Bear Stearns, and eventually built his own mysterious fortune. By the late 1980s and early 90s, Epstein was hosting lavish parties, flying on private jets, and forming alliances with billionaires, politicians, and royalty. One of those early friends, Donald J. Trump. Photos from the era showed Trump and Epstein together repeatedly, smiling, talking, partying. Flight logs list Trump on Epstein's private plane. And Epstein himself was a regular guest at Mar-a-Lago. In a 2002 New York Magazine profile, Trump famously said, "I've known Jeff for 15 years. Terrific guy. He's a lot of fun to be with. It is even said that he likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side." Let that quote sink in. Trump not only acknowledged Epstein's preference for younger women, he casually compared it to his own. And at the time, Epstein had already been accused, privately, of disturbing behavior involving underage girls. The friendship carried on. In 1992, NBC footage captured Epstein and Trump laughing together at a Mar-a-Lago party. They're surrounded by cheerleaders, pointing, dancing, whispering. Later reports suggest that the women at the party were specifically brought in for them. But the public tone changed after 2005. That year, a Florida family reported Epstein to police after their 14-year-old daughter was abused. Palm Beach detectives launched an investigation, and the evidence piled up. Dozens of underage girls. Hundreds of hours of testimony. Physical evidence, phone records, massage tables. And a pattern of grooming and abuse, all allegedly centered at Epstein's Palm Beach mansion. Despite the overwhelming case, Epstein wasn't charged federally. Instead, in 2008, he accepted a secret plea deal. The man who gave it to him, Alexander Acosta, U.S. attorney at the time, who would later become Trump's Secretary of Labor. The deal let Epstein plead guilty to just 2 state-level charges. He served 13 months in a county jail with work release privileges. He was allowed to leave for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. And his co-conspirators were given immunity. The deal was so secret that even the victims weren't told about it. It was later ruled illegal. Fast forward to 2016. Trump is running for president. When asked about Epstein, he downplays the relationship, claiming they had a falling out and hadn't spoken in years. He even tells reporters, "I was not a fan, but court records say otherwise." In 2016, a woman using the pseudonym Katie Johnson filed a lawsuit in New York, claiming that she had been raped by Trump at an Epstein-hosted party in 1994, when she was just 13 years old. The case was later dropped, and the accuser withdrew, citing threats. In 2019, Epstein was arrested again, this time by federal prosecutors in New York. The charges were sweeping: trafficking, abuse of minors, operating an international sex ring. Once again, the world turned its attention to the names in his address book. And once again, Trump claimed he barely knew him. That same year, William Barr was now Attorney General, appointed by Trump himself. Barr had previously served as Trump's personal lawyer. He oversaw the DOJ during Epstein's second arrest, detention, and ultimately, death. Here's where things turn even darker. Epstein died in federal custody at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in Manhattan. The official ruling: suicide. But the circumstances were suspicious. 2 surveillance cameras malfunctioned. The guards fell asleep. His cellmate was removed hours earlier. And Epstein's hyoid bone was broken, a type of injury more consistent with manual strangulation than hanging, according to forensic experts. Barr called the death a perfect storm of screw-ups, but he never explained why he unrecused himself from the case, or why the security footage was never fully released, or why no one else was ever charged. In 2020, Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's longtime partner, was arrested. During her trial, multiple witnesses testified that she helped recruit underage girls for Epstein and his associates. She was convicted in 2021. But the client list never released. DOJ prosecutors argued that revealing the names of the men who abused these girls would violate privacy or national security. The same Department of Justice led by William Barr, and later, Pam Bondi, another Trump loyalist. Bondi, you may recall, previously served as Attorney General of Florida, and declined to investigate Trump University after receiving a donation from Trump's foundation. Now, as Attorney General in 2025, she continues to block the release of Epstein-related records. Just last week, the DOJ, under Bondi, released a memo stating, "There is no Epstein client list. No prosecutable evidence remains. The case is closed." That memo was co-drafted by none other than William Barr, now Bondi's second-in-command at the DOJ. A man who was once Trump's personal lawyer, became his attorney general, oversaw Epstein's death, oversaw the non-release of evidence, now declares the case closed, and again, Barr's father was the man who gave Epstein his first job. Let's also not forget how Trump has handled the Epstein question. During his 2024 campaign, he promised to declassify everything about Epstein. But once in office again, nothing. He downplayed the topic, dismissed questions, and even defended Bondi when she was pressed by reporters. In one recent press conference, Trump interrupted a question about Epstein and Bondi by saying, "We're still talking about this creep." He followed it with a Truth Social post defending Bondi, saying she was doing a great job, and adding that nobody cares about Epstein anymore. So let's review. Trump was friends with Epstein for years. He partied with him, praised him publicly, flew on his jet, hosted him at Mar-a-Lago. When Epstein was first investigated, Trump appointed the man who gave him his plea deal. When Epstein was arrested again, Trump's own Attorney General oversaw the jail where he died. When questions mounted, Trump downplayed them, and appointed allies who sealed the files. And when the public asked for accountability, they were told, there is no client list. The victims, still waiting for justice. The traffickers, still unnamed. The people in power, still protecting each other. And the man at the center of it all says we should move on.